All right, it's November 16th, 2014. My name is Charlie Maverick, and I'm joined with my co-host, Karon Brown.
What's going
And this
on?
is This Mobile World. What's up, everyone?
What's going on, man?
Karon Brown is in the building, killing the
Happy,
game.
happy, happy Sunday to everybody.
Happy Sunday. Yeah, we wanted to do the show a little bit early so you can watch your football. Um, but you know, you know, we'll try to make it short as possible, considering how the last show went about 2 hours.
Not my fault.
That was not your fault. Uh, I mean, you were an accomplice in it, but it was more my fault because I can't shut up. Um, but we're here today to talk about the notes for the Nexus 6. That is hard to say without spitting on yourself or the keyboard.
or the mic.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's already
And
glistening.
as
Mhm.
yeah, if you can only see this side of it. I'm
I
just
don't want to
kidding.
see it. I don't want to see it. You good? Keep going. Let's go. Keep it going. Keep it moving.
And give a little recap of the review of the Moto X 2014, which is the little brother to the Nexus 6. Gotta kind of take a breath of that and swallow all the saliva before you say Nexus
Ne
6.
Nexus 6.
Man, like Nexus 5, because you're gonna say like 5 after that and not another syllable that has 6 in it.
Yeah.
It's easier to say like Nexus 5, Nexus 6. Because I'm just anyway, makes it hard to say. So anyway, it's been a few weeks since we done a show. How you doing, Kayron?
Man, everything's good. Just been working. Recently, things have been slow, doing with the holidays coming up and everything. You know, uh, we have the FDA coming this week,
Shut
so
down?
we are preparing for these guys to
Shut
come
down?
in. Hopefully everything. No shutdown. Don't say that, bro. Hopefully everything will run smoothly, and we'll be able to move on and keep it going. Family's good. You know, it's the temperature dropped, and what else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah, everything good. What about on your end?
Well, as you can see, I'm growing my beard out.
Yeah, man, you look like me a little bit.
Yeah,
Bam!
man.
Hey, do something about that beard, man.
I've come to find out that November is the month that guys grow their beard out, and I thought, I didn't know what it was for. I thought it was college football, but apparently it's for a good cause.
Prostate
Um,
cancer.
prostate cancer, yeah.
Hmm.
So a lot of the males in the office are growing their beards out. I already was in the process, so it was easy for me to get in the game.
Right.
Uh, I just had to stop like trimming it down so much. But yeah, everything's cool here. Literally, it's in the 30s right now. It's gonna dip down into the teens. I think tomorrow night might have some ice on the road in a couple of days, but
In Atlanta?
ATL, yeah, man, ATL. I mean, we look a couple of weeks ago, South Carolina had snow. Um,
Must be like Greenville, Columbia, Spartanburg areas. I don't know.
yeah, they had like an inch or two of snow. Um, I mean, weather's crazy. It's going to be a crazy winter because it's cold already. It
I
didn't
think
get
I
that
think so too.
cold.
I think last year was really bad due to the ice storms and bridges shutting down and
Yeah,
people
man.
not knowing how to act because they forget how to drive and weather like that. So
We
you
could
know,
do a whole show about that, but yeah, I
I
mean,
understand. Yeah, man, we good.
it's like, oh God, like people can't drive, man. People just can't drive. It's just sad. But anyway, we digress.
Yes.
So, two big phones that we are here to talk about. Two big phones are making ripples on the
Hmm.
blogosphere. Two big phones are having people like weighing their options of what they're gonna do. It's almost like a life decision. Um, and some people are leaving the iPhone. I know a couple of people that are leaving the iPhone to come to Android because they heard good things about what Android is doing and has been doing. They just want to change. They've been on iPhone for so long. They just want a change.
Hmm.
It's kind of like how BlackBerry went to their demise, but I don't think Apple's anywhere close to that. But some people just want something different. So they're thinking about what phone they're going to get. They have the
Mhm.
iPhone 6 Plus, which was supposed to keep people on the iPhone, bandwagon for a little bit longer because people were crying for a larger phone. But some people still doesn't do it justice. So speaking of that, let's before we segue into both of those phones, the reason why these people are trying to move to Android is because you have a big phone in the iPhone 6 Plus, but what is its purpose? Just to be big? What is its functioning purpose? Does it have one that distinguishes it from the iPhone 6, which is 4.7 inches? What does that 5.5-inch phone do for you that the 4.7 inch can do?
I think the only thing that stands out to me is that the fact that it's just big. People have a lot more reading room, if you will. They're able to game better. Uh, when they're reading their internet, scrolling up and down, they're getting that full uh, 5.5 size, and they want to compete with these other phablets, and I hate that word that's out there right now. They want to compete with the Notes, the LGs, the Nexus 6, soon to be here. Um, all these other phones. So Apple is like, well, what can we do to, I guess, kick it up a notch? And it's really not kicking it up at all. Because like you just mentioned, you have the 2014 edition of the Moto X, but if you think about it, the Nexus 6 is a bigger version of the Moto X, i.e. iPhone 6, 6 Plus. So it's like you can't differentiate which one is better than the other because technically they're the same phones. They both get the same updates. Apple,
Hopefully.
Moto X, Nexus 6 at the same time.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, right. And FYI, if you have the unlocked version of the Moto 2014 edition, you do now have Lollipop. But anyway,
Yeah, kind of mad over that.
yeah, that's why Charlie is very
Yeah.
glum looking. But yeah, you really can't differentiate which one is better than the other because they're the same exact phone. And Charlie mentioned that there are people living in Apple, and that would be me too. Coming back to Android.
Mhm.
Um, and I think my battle would be between the Nexus 6 and the Note 4. I would have to actually, because T-Mobile it drops Wednesday, so I would have to actually go there and put them side by side and get and see exactly which one I would get. I'm thinking I'm leaning more towards the Note. Me and Charlie talked about it before the show actually started. And it kind of would make sense. I just don't like the skin of TouchWiz or of Samsung. And
That's big. That's a big thing because people that pick up an Android phone more often than not get a Samsung phone and they judge how Android is based off of TouchWiz,
mhm,
not how Moto X and Nexus phones operate, which is bare bones Android for the most part.
right.
So I mean, it's a big thing. You got a whole bunch of things to factor in. Brought up the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus first because this segues over to how the Moto X and the Nexus 6, still tough to say that, are different. So I did a review of the 2014 version of the Moto X last week, and please watch that. Link is in the description of the show. And basically, this is a great successor to last year. I love last year's version. Had it for a year. Thought I'd get this awesome phone. This is 5.2 inches, and this I have regular size man hands. I guess I don't have huge hands, but it took
Yeah,
about a
I
month
believe
for
you.
me to get acclimated to this size. And I used to have a Note 2, which was 5.5, but it took me a month to get acclimated to this size again because I had a smaller phone than
Mhm.
this. This phone is awesome. It has like the display and voice actions, but here's the thing. You got the Nexus 6 that comes out. Looks the exact same with the exception of this dimple. It looks the exact same but larger, but you don't have the enhancements that Motorola has put into the Moto X. Um, I mean, so you're not gonna have like Moto Voice that allows you to give a command on the lock screen to where you can wake it up and ask it a question. You can't wave your hand over it or pick it up and then you get this display. There is a way that you can do it in Lollipop, but it's very cumbersome. It doesn't work that often, and you might as well just turn on the phone. It kind of works like TouchWiz's notification, waving your hand over it. You
Hmm.
might as well just open the phone. Um, the phone is this phone, the Nexus 6, and I'm not hating on this phone. I kind of want this phone, but I can't get it because Verizon won't release a release date. But is this phone big for no reason? Just like the iPhone 6 Plus, is it big for no reason?
Well, if you think about it, big phones are the it factor now. They're the it factor. They're what's to have right now. You know, if you think about it, Apple's been complaining year after year after year. Every time these phones get bigger, they're like, okay, why is our phone the same size? I wish it would be bigger. Now Apple has a bigger phone. And people are going crazy over this 6 Plus. They really are because yeah, they want a bigger phone. I guess they feel more comfortable with it, especially the women. Women are more prone to getting bigger phones, like hands down.
Yeah, that's weird
Um,
too.
it really is. I guess you could put it in along the same line as women love driving big trucks because they're sitting high and they're comfortable. They can see everything. So when you get in a bigger phone, you can see everything and you can actually find it. You know, it, you can
That's a
you can actually
great
find
that's
it.
a great analogy, sir.
So I don't want to say it's big for nothing. What I think is too big, I'm not sure yet. I can't answer that. I want to say AT&T has already released their version of the Nexus 6. Um, T-Mobile will be releasing theirs on Wednesday. So I will be checking it out 9 times out of 10, probably Saturday due to work. So I will be giving you my thoughts once I have good hands on with it. But I don't know. It's to each his
Is it
own.
is it big for no reason? Is it okay? What
Well,
what what
okay.
benefits do you have with it being 5.9 inches versus having a Moto X that feature-wise has more in it that is 5.2? What benefit do you have with having that bigger screen?
The only thing I can think of, man, is not having to get a tablet. That's the only thing I can think of because you got your multimedia right there, smack dab in your face. Uh, reading, music. I mean, whatever you want, whatever you want. The only thing is you cannot multitask with it. Like we were discussing before the show actually started. You can't. You don't have the double screens. You can't split screen. You can't. Do all this other fancy stuff with it because Samsung's the only one that can do it. They're the only ones that do it.
So
It's
here's
just a
where the
pure
comparison
Google
comes
phone.
in. Yeah, so here's the comparison to it. So you're on the fence, and a lot of people are on the fence with it, um, versus the Note 4. And I know a couple of people that have the Note 4, and they love it. They got the Note 3 and they got the Note 4.
Hmm.
So that big screen, which is 5.7 inches, almost
Right,
5.8,
right.
which is the same size of last year, has a purpose.
Hmm.
So the purpose of that screen is you have uh, a, a stylus that is, for better words, not is a it's a high class upscale stylus that
Right,
does things to a capacitive screen that a regular stylus will not do.
right.
Also, you have a split screen and multi-view screen. So you can put I don't know how many screens on the Note 4 and it still functions.
I
Um,
want to say I want to say four, man.
I mean,
I
it's
want to say
it's kind of like
four.
Windows, the way you can have like screens open, and at the same time, and you're doing stuff, or you can have the screens like on top of each other. We didn't want to see your junk there,
Man, my
sir.
bad, man. My look, I hit something in the
Ooh,
camera.
man, dude, serious. Whoa, I forgot what I was saying. So,
That was an epic
um,
fail, man. That was a fail right there.
so, sorry for. I don't know. So anyway, I told him, okay, so you can put the screens on top of each other.
Hey man, this is a live show, man.
I think all of our viewers just went to church
This is a
after
li-
that. But man,
You were saying this
I
like the
wasn't
split screen.
ready. So yeah, you can do multitasking with it, which has been proven with the Note series, to where you can have one or two screens open or more than that open, and you can do things at the same time,
Mhm.
like you had just one screen open. The Nexus 6 can do neither of those two things, which is the selling point of the Note. You can take notes, you can write it down just like you're writing on paper, or you can split screen and do two things at once. How many times have you had the situation to where I wish I can have two things running at the same time, to where I don't have to back out of the app and then go back in it and switch, and I'm trying to get some information transferred to this, so login information that you saved, or some text that you want to copy between Twitter and Facebook, and you watching a YouTube video and you're trying to like type notes down. How often do you try to do that and fail because you don't have a note?
That's true.
Gives you a
That's
purpose to have that
yeah,
big screen. The
that's true.
Nexus 6 does not give you that functionality.
Not
So,
only that, you can like say if I'm on a phone, and I've done this plenty of times when I had the Note 3, when I'm on a business call and someone's like, "Do you have a pen and a paper?" What do? You take the stylus out and you can write while you're conversating to that person, and you can save it like that. So
yeah.
it does make sense, but there's one thing you haven't touched on, and that is the software. You have not touched on the software because a lot of people don't know what TouchWiz is. They don't know what it means when you say skin. Uh,
Hmm.
whenever someone sees Samsung and you see that phone, whether it's the Galaxy S5, which is a boo boo phone, um, the Galaxy S5 and Note 4, Note 3, whatever, whatever, you're like, oh man, that is a beautiful phone. But my thing is, and I know a few people will be like, well, just you can cut all that stuff off, but it's like there's so much going on with that phone, so much. But Samsung complements it by the power and the processor that it has under it. It's what's under the hood that makes it run the way it does. If Nexus has the same uh functionality, well, not
No.
functionality, but it has the same engine as the Note, the same processor, same RAM. The only thing that it's different from is the gig. You have a 16 and you have a 64, I believe, with the Nexus, and then you have a 32, which is expandable memory in it. But my thing is, what about the software? You're going to get your updates on time. The Note 4, I believe, their update is coming in next month, I believe, with T-Mobile customers. But what about the software? Talk about that a little bit. I mean, because you like I was saying, TouchWiz sucks. It's not a pure Android running phone.
Okay.
It doesn't, and I get frustrated because it lags. A little periodically, it'll have that little lag in it. But maybe it's me. Maybe I have too many apps. Maybe I'm pushing it. That's what I like to do, though. I like to push the phone and see exactly what it's capable of doing and how much it can handle. You know what I mean?
Okay. So, TouchWiz. All right. So you have Android, which is the base operating system, which is basically in the Moto X and the Nexus phones. If you have a Nexus tablet, you have a Nexus phone, that's bare bones Android. TouchWiz is an overlay that Samsung puts on their tablets, their phones, and if they could, they put on their wearables. They have something different on there though. So TouchWiz is the overlay that takes the code from Android, and they're able to put features on top of that to where you can do extra things like multi-screen, do the gestures with looking at the sensor and it stays on.
Mhm.
You can do the writing with the S Pen. You can do the pick up the phone and answer it by itself. So TouchWiz has a lot of enhancements. They pack a whole bunch of stuff in there. Half of the stuff you don't even know about. Half of it you'll never use. And but the stuff that you use, you can, if you try, you can find a use case scenario for it. So what Samsung does is they innovate a lot of technology, and some of which gets put into native Android, with the base level of it. So just think of TouchWiz as the beta test for the things that are actually going to be hard coded in Android. With that being said, there is a good and bad with that. Some of it is glitchy, some of it is considered gimmicky, but some of them consistently deliver, like the multi-screen, the multitasking with that, the S Pen. That is what they love to implement into TouchWiz, and they keep making it better.
Mhm.
Um, and to be honest, Samsung is the reason why we have plus 5-inch phones. Um, with the Note series, because the first Note, I believe, was 5.3 inches, if I'm not mistaken. Then it was 5.5, then it was 5.7, then it's still at 5.7. But they have a way to make that size useful to you. It's just not big for any just having a big phone.
Right.
They have a way to, if you have little hands, and the iPhone 6 Plus stole this a little bit. If you have big hands, there's a way for you to shrink down your thumb area to where you can use it with one hand. If you want to do anything, like, I mean, it has a IR sensor, so it can be your TV remote. Base Android doesn't do that, but TouchWiz does.
Hmm.
Sense does that too, which is another skin by HTC, but base Android doesn't do that. You can't have that sensor in there and it will cooperate with base Android unless you have code on top of it. So
Right.
there's a lot of benefits to having TouchWiz versus having base Android. However, there's a major caveat. There's a major caveat. You are not going to get your updates as quickly, and your carrier has to go through a whole bunch of testing to get
Hmm.
things working with, to make sure that their network works with the version of Android, that version of TouchWiz, their radios, because they have to have radios in the phone. You can't have just, I mean, the radios is hardware and software, so you have to have the driver that works along with that. Go ahead, Cameron.
Real quick question. Okay, you said they have to make sure that they have the radios and make sure that they get the codes and everything right. Isn't it possible? Is it possible that they can think in the future and think way down the road while they're making these phones? Because my thing is, why are you going to release a phone with KitKat and then have to wait on Lollipop? Why can't you just release these phones knowing good doggone well that, okay, the Nexus is coming, so we want to go ahead and have this phone come out of the box with Lollipop?
They can't do it. They have to offset their release times with let's say the Galaxy S series. They have to compete with so many. This is how Samsung stays on top. They
Okay.
have to compete with HTC. They have to compete with LG. So they release that in the spring or early summer. Then
Okay.
they strategically have where they get the news out about the Note series, and they build up to that right before the iPhone builds up to its. So you kind of saw that, or you kind of see now that Samsung's the Note series gained so much popularity that where I Apple has kind of pushed up their release date in their like keynotes and their and like announcements of the next iPhone. So they're
Right.
so close together. They have to get that to market before everybody gets their hands on the iPhone,
Okay.
which means um, which means that you have more than one model out 6 months or 4 to 6 months apart, and they're always on this timeline to try to stay ahead of the game. What happens is Android updates don't come until the Nexus comes out, which is normally in late October, early November,
Mhm.
and they're already behind the game. So what happens is they have to release this product before people get their hands on the iPhone so they can have their commercials out there and say, hey, buy our phone. The next big thing is here. That's their whole initiative or their mantra. The next big thing is here to say, oh, the next big thing is here. Get this before you get an iPhone. Um, and that kind of hinders the fact of their speedy updates. Now, and also they have so many models of phones out. I mean, Samsung has been known to throw the spaghetti noodle or the whole pot at the cabinet, and whatever sticks
Mhm.
sticks. Just like they have the Note 4 Edge. That's not going to stick. But that's another thing they have to worry about. They have devices coming out. They're already working on the Galaxy S6. So
And the Note 5. I can't. I'm
and the
like,
Note
what?
5. They're already working on it. I mean, because they have so much things packed in there, they have to make sure that it works. So they have so many things, and we have to remember. We have to remember also. We have to remember Samsung is a large company. They make everything. They make the TV that I use. They make computers. They make refrigerators. They make dryers. They make washing machines.
Yeah.
They have smart things that they bought. So they're making in-home technology which is compatible with your smartphones and tablets. They
Yeah.
make tablets too. They make a whole bunch of stuff. So they have to try to keep up with the market. Then they have to try to play the catch-up game with Android. And the other manufacturers that don't have pure Android are doing the same thing.
I think they
Samsung,
have to. I think they have to keep up with. I think Samsung has to keep up with Apple. See, people don't realize that uh, Apple is ahead. I don't think people. They. I think a lot of people are so uh, smitten by Samsung and what they're doing with Android and Google and whatnot that they're not sitting back and thinking that Apple is still ahead. The reason why I say that is because look at how long this NFC's been out. You know what I'm saying? As soon as Apple came out with this Apple Pay, people went crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we've been doing it for so long. Why does it take Apple to when they do their little commercial and dude, they're all over the news with this thing,
that's
all
Google's
over the
fault.
news.
That's not Samsung's fault. That's Google's fault for, and Google just started doing advertisements, and they don't pinpoint benefits. They kind of hint to, oh, they try to copy the Apple commercials with the lifestyle
Right,
benefits of it, but they don't
exactly.
capture the technical benefits of it. So it's kind of like, okay, Android's out there, great. You got the Nexus out there, which they might not have commercials for, and there's a whole marketing thing with companies now that they're focusing on YouTube advertisements rather than TV because of the
Mhm.
return of it. So you might not even see um, Nexus 6 commercials out there because there's no real big return for Google on that. And Google knows that they are they're an experimental and innovating company,
Right.
and they make their money off search. Everything else is just for fun and shits and giggles. But and it's their fault because they could have advertised Google Wallet 3 4 years ago.
Right.
They chose not to. They could have advertised the benefits of NFC. The only ones that did it were the people that are on the blogs and you and me telling our friends and family about it. They didn't get it, but when Apple Pay came out with the functionality with NFC in the iPhone 6 Plus and all
Uh-huh.
that,
Right.
then that's when it hit because they're like, oh well, people that have the Samsung phones that are Android, they probably don't use the benefits of TouchWiz as it is. They just want a camera. They probably buy it because Samsung has the best camera on Android, um, and they don't really use NFC. Like okay, other than you, me, and a few people, how often have you seen anybody tap to pay before um, Apple Pay came out?
None,
None.
none.
And there's people that knew about it, but they still didn't do it because of the stigma that and the looks that you would get every time I used it. The person at the register was like, "What are you doing?"
What did you
Uh,
just do? Yeah.
yeah. Can you give me your card? No, no, the payment already went through. What just happened? I don't know. And these are young people too.
And
These
but
young
see,
people.
when I did it, I asked the girl. I said, "Hey, can I pay with my can I pay with my phone?" She's like, "Sure." Like, and then when I did it, she's like, "Oh man, that is neat. How did you do that?" I'm like, it's a Google Wallet. It has a little chip inside, and you just hold it up, and it'll go off. And see, Android could have been killing them if they would have done the marketing correctly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Apple knows how to market, man. They really do. And with this whole what is that car called? Chevy I think the Chevy Cruze and Chevy Versa or something like that, where Apple controls the car. Apple are controlling these cars today. You don't hear nothing about Android controlling cars. The only thing you see that you could do with your Android phone is plug it into your auxiliary port or
Hmm.
your little your little USB thing. That's it. Your USB plug-in. But Apple advertises in these cars, in these vehicles, BMW, Mercedes, these top line cars. Apple name is on it, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Where's
Well, for the same thing, Android Auto is supposed to be coming out on some Hondas and some other notable brands of cars. But again, they're not mentioning it. I watch Car Matchmaker, which is my guilty pleasure, Esquire Network. It's a really good show. Um, and there's at least three car models that he has stated that they're going to have the Apple tie into the auto when it comes out next year. Not one of them was said about Android Auto. That pisses me off because Android came to the game the same time as Apple,
right?
but Google is not advertising it as Apple. Apple would leak it out to certain people that know that they're going to put it out there. They tell show producers, make sure you include this into the description of whatever thing that you're going to be placing on that camera. So if it's
Right.
on TV, you make sure, even CNET, when they do their car tech,
Yeah.
they say, okay, this is going to have the Apple technology in it.
Hmm.
Those same cars that are supposed to get Android Auto, they don't mention it because they do.
That see, you see what I'm saying?
It's just the fact that there's somebody that is at Apple that is paid to do their job, that specific job, and they do that. That is not that person at Google. There's that person in Samsung, but it's not that person at Google. So you see Samsung advertising the benefits of the phone, the benefits of whatever technology they have, but Google will not do that. Even with the Android commercials, um, what was it? We're all the same but different, or something like that. All together but different. That's
Right.
their campaign with the commercials. That gives you nothing in terms of information of what Android can do. Nothing. You see the Androidified characters on there, and it looks cool. The music's cool, and it gets you pumped up. Android. What does it do? Nothing. I don't know. But you see the iPhone commercials when they're advertising iOS on the new model of the iPhone, and it tells you about specific apps built in, what it can
Right.
do to benefit your life.
The music, the you got the people on the mountain, and they're taking a picture of like some Korean language or something, and the app it reads it out to you, or I think the app it tells you exactly what it says. I'm like, are you kidding me? And what
And
did that do to me? That was
and
like,
Android can
how
do
did
that,
that
but
do
they
that?
don't tell people.
Man, look, and I'm like, right now, or yeah, you see, I'm getting all amped, man, because I'm a bona fide app person. Like, I love apps because apps revolve around me, or vice versa.
Is
And the
that
reason why I
because
say
your head
that,
is so big?
no, because I use it. It's not like a magnet where it just floats and it's like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? It ain't not like that. But I just love apps because every app that I have on my
It
phone
is
right
kind of
now,
big.
I use it. I use it hands down. I mean, every day there's something I can go on my phone and find something.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, well, how can I find that at? Where's that app at where I can hold it up to a different language and she read it out to me? Where's that app at? I asked my wife. I said, look, does this phone does does Android have this app before I switch over? She's like, nope. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Well, I
sitting here
mean,
looking
it
for all
does,
type.
but you won't know it unless you look for it.
Well, I asked her. I said, look, there was like a picture thing. I asked her. I said, do y'all have trunks? It's a photo saving cloud app, and she's like, yeah. And I asked her, well, do y'all have this? And she was like, no. I was like, see, you know what I'm saying? They got iMovie, but and I know Android has their version of making movies and doing videos and things like that, but it's just the name and the the market. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's kind of neat how the industry is done today
Hmm.
because they always find a way to bring that the consumers in, and it's kind of mind-boggling at the same time that how you really pointed out, and it does make sense that Android doesn't say too much about nothing, but Apple does, vice versa. You know,
And
you
the funny thing is, the Android, on a technical standpoint, could do 10 times more than iOS,
yeah,
but those benefits are never put out there until it's too late. Like, ooh, I heard about my iPhone. Hey, you could do that with your Android phone? Oh man, I wish I had an Android phone. And then they forget about it, and then they get another iPhone. Oh man, I forgot your phone could do that. Oh well, I already got my iPhone. I'm good.
right, right,
Yep.
right.
So it's too
Apple
late.
is so Apple is so simple, and you know what? Like I said, I haven't had any problems with it. It's so weird. I haven't had any problems with it, but at the same time, I'm like, should I get an iPhone 6? Should I get an iPhone 6? And the reason why, because I've gotten used to it, But I miss Android because of I call it competition and the difficulty of using Android because you could do so much customization. You can widgets, real widgets, not this bull little widget thing they got
In
going
the
on
in the
here.
pull down screen, that's the only
Yeah,
place you
you
see
know
the
what I'm saying?
widget. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not
you
a
can.
widget. That's not a widget, people. That's not
Right,
a true
it's
widget.
not. Android has true, you know, customization with their software, and I can appreciate that for what it is. Yeah, I may gripe about the phone having so many things on it, but like I just answered my own question. Hey, you don't have to cut it on. You don't have to use it. You could just you can switch your phone up. Do I use all the Samsung services? No, because I like to use the Google services, but
Yeah.
it's just it is what it is.
You
I can
sound angry.
appreciate. Yeah. No, 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 I'm not angry. I'm a,
You
I'm
sound
a,
angry.
I'm a happy brother. I'm a happy brother.
Sure. You sound angry.
Positive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure. You sound a little angry.
Nah, man.
All right.
Yeah, I'm a little pissed off, but it is what it
I
is.
I
I'll,
I I
I'll,
mean,
I'll let
see people. If you ask it the same question 3 times, you get the truth.
it'll come out eventually. Like one of them questionnaires, man.
Like, hey man, okay, just stop asking me. Damn. Don't say it no more time. I'm gonna tell you the truth this time. But yeah, so the Note 4, and I mean for what it is, awesome phone. I held it in the T-Mobile store, and I'm like, and I already had the Nexus, sorry, the Moto X. I already
Mhm.
had it. This is a beautiful feeling phone, dude. I'm serious. If this phone was
Are
bigger,
those the two speakers on top, or it doesn't have two speakers?
it has two speakers, but okay, so it's not stereo,
Okay.
but the Nexus is.
Right.
So this is only for phone calls. This is only for speakerphone or audio.
Wow.
But I mean, look, it's I don't listen to too many things out loud, so stereo speakers on a phone mean nothing to me.
Okay.
Um, but other people, it does. I mean, I would say headphones sound better if you
Mm-hmm.
had it. It would just sound better. I
Mm-hmm.
understand people play games
Right.
and on the train and annoy the hell out of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But be
But
considerate. Be considerate, people,
I
please.
mean, with those functionalities of the speakers and the location of it and the quality of it, that's great.
Mhm.
But it gives those same people the ammunition to say, I'm gonna have my music blasted.
Right.
Which
Right.
is yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's wow. But I mean, this is a beautiful phone. This is totally beautiful. It feels premium. Last year's felt okay, but it was plastic. This has metal on it. I mean, this feels like faux leather. It's definitely not any type of leather, but it feels great. But when I picked up the Note 4, I was like, wow. I mean, because it has metal around it. It has real metal around the band too now.
Mhm. But don't talk about it too much because I haven't held it yet. The time I tried to go, no, don't do that. Don't
Mm,
do that.
mm, mm.
Don't do that.
And that
Don't say that.
screen, the screen,
No, the
the
time I went to
QHD,
go
the
try to hold
QHD
that phone,
screen. Mm, mm, mm,
the
mm.
time I went to go hold that phone, their phones wasn't working.
Quad
Ain't
HD
that
is
something?
crazy. Quad
See?
HD is something, boy. I'm telling you, this is 1080p. My eyes ain't that good. But when I looked at that Quad HD, I'm like, what?
Here
I'm
we
like,
go.
what's that? That's 4K.
Here we go.
I was like, hey, what's going on? Um, this is really vivid. It was so vivid it made my eyes hurt and I had to put it down. It looked like reality.
Oh God.
Whatever was out. But I mean, the
Stop it.
Nexus 6 is gonna have the same thing though on a bigger screen. But is
But
that
the
the
next
only
six,
purpose to have the big ass screen
but
is
the
to
next
look at
six won't be able
pictures?
to multitask like in that way. I've
Exactly.
already made my decision. I've already made my decision.
So your
I've already
decision is the Note.
yes.
So
Final
what
answer.
about the updates?
I
Does that
can
bother you?
deal. I think I can deal with not having the updates. I think that I would be able to handle um because I think I can be. I can. I would have to be patient. I have no choice but to be patient because it's Samsung, But at the same time, yeah, my head rolled around. It's Samsung and it's Android, but all the things that we discussed earlier in the segment, I think the Note would be pretty substantial to have right now. I think it would. Of all the things that I like to do, I think that Note would benefit me more. Um, the Nexus, yeah, the only thing it has going for them, yeah, is updates. You know, but it's like you asked the question before, and still been asking, is it big for no reason? Technically, yeah, it is kind of big for no reason because it really can't do too much.
It took you that long to admit that. Wow, that's
Come
crazy.
on, man. Look, I just look. You ain't got to say it like that, bro. Man,
I was trying to get that out of you. So, I mean, that's not to knock the Nexus 6.
no, not at all.
So here's the thing also that people gotta realize. For those tech bloggers, phone whores, um, curmudgeons alike,
That's me, man. That's me all the way. Yeah.
um, the Nexus is was known for having a lower price than other phones.
Mhm.
And for some reason, people can't understand why is it the same price as flagship phones now. Well, here's the thing, people. You got to realize you got to pay the extra money to get extra quality. They
Mhm.
cut corners in a lot of the areas in the past Nexus phones for a reason to keep costs low. Now there's no excuse. There is no excuse to say, "Hey, my Nexus can't do this," or the camera's not that good
Right.
because they try to
Right.
cut price. Now they have it in every carrier. Verizon is to be determined the
Mhm.
date, but Sprint has it. T-Mobile's
AT.
gonna have it this week.
And AT&T.
AT&T already has it on pre-order.
Hmm.
And I mean,
Metro
you can,
PC, they're gonna have two, right?
and US Cellular.
Okay.
Yep. They're gonna have it. So there's a reason why they had to up the price. What is the true benefit of having a store, having the phone in the store, and basically selling it on contract or through like a payment program? What is the benefit of that? So a lot of people, including myself, I haven't bought a phone straight out retail price since I didn't have the money to do so, and I was just an obnoxiously irresponsible human being at the time.
I don't think I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever done that. I've always had contracts.
It's
But
the
go ahead.
worst
I mean,
decision
so,
ever. It is the
right.
worst decision ever if you're paying upwards to $500-$600.
Mm,
That's obnoxious. And the reason the contracts are in place, the 199, the 299 in place for 2-year contracts, that made it more accessible to people like, okay, I can put that in there. I'm going to stay with them for 2 years anyway. What's the reason not to pay that?
right.
And then when you feel need to upgrade, you get another one, 299 or 199. You
Yeah.
got two different phones out of 4 years without, which is less than paying one phone outright for that one phone, and you're gonna stay with that carrier anyway. So carriers is like, yeah, this is. I mean, you have to up the price of the phone. You have to make the quality great,
Hmm.
and then you have to put it, and so we can sell on the phone. So we could drop the price down. So people are like, oh yeah, it's accessible. So two things with the upwards of the price. You have better quality in the hardware, the specs are up to date, and the camera is decent. It's more than decent. It's okay. It's not great. It's not note quality, but it's decent. It's not iPhone
Right.
quality, but it's a lot. It's the
Yeah.
best camera on a Nexus phone
In
yet.
years. Yeah. In years.
Yes.
Hmm.
And now you have it available at all the carriers. So what? You can't buy it outright. So what? You are that person that is, uh, and I'm sorry. A lot of people that watch the video are gonna put in the comments "F you," but look, you are the minority of the people that are on off contract plans that are buying phones outright and that are pissed off about this. The majority of people are like, all right, first of all, this is a major step forward for Nexus to be in the stores, not that whole debacle with you had with Sprint and Verizon
Hmm.
and that Galaxy Nexus. Software wise was great. Hardware, camera wasn't good. Battery wasn't good. All that. And I mean, because you went
Yeah.
right back to iPhone because of that phone.
Hmm.
Which software wise was one of the best phones I had. However, because they didn't have a strong arm on the carriers because of the price is so low, Verizon was like, we'll update this phone whenever we feel like. Because hey, if you don't like it, you could have bought this phone off contract for the same price.
Right.
But now and this is what Apple has. Now you're in the stores. You can say, hey, we upped the price for this. We upped the quality. We did everything. There's no reason for you to lag on the time of updates. You have your stuff in place on time. You get the updates out when everybody else gets the updates out. You have no excuse. If this
Absolutely.
goes south, we're pulling it out. We're pulling it out. And there's two things about that. The carriers are like, so what? We still got Samsung. or like, oh, maybe we should get our act together and update this stuff on time when everybody else does. So we're gonna find out in the course of a year if this increase of price has a big return on the quality and the accessibility.
Lord.
What?
My bad. Sorry.
Oh, oh,
Somebody want to hit the camera with the dough.
oh. Well, at least we didn't see
Boy,
your junk again. So
behind the scenes, I tell you, boy, something else, boy.
you need to hire a cameraman. Matter of fact, you need to hire one of your kids just to stand there and like make sure no one messes it up. See,
No, you know,
that's,
no,
that's what you do. No,
no.
that's a part of their
The
allowance.
people would sway up and down with an earthquake. I'm telling you that right now. Yeah, but they gonna think I'm in an earthquake.
I mean, South Carolina can have earthquakes too. We had
We
some.
can. We had a few a couple months ago. Yeah, a couple months ago
Yeah.
we had. Mhm.
Yeah, but if you're in an earthquake and you're on a live show, you need to get out and not worry about the show.
And y'all just gonna be see me shaking.
Be like shaking. like, does this camera have Tourette's? but in terms of the Nexus 6, awesome phone. The thing you got to worry about, and this is a spit in the face. This is a direct spit in the face, totally, of the Nexus 6 and the Moto X, by the way. You have the Droid Turbo on Verizon, which has
Yeah.
beast mode specs and a long ass battery. And then Verizon is doing promotions just to get people to get that phone over the Moto X.
Droid skin is
Wow.
ugly too.
Well, they
The
don't.
way
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I don't like their setup either. Droid has a ugly setup. If
Well,
okay,
they took most of that away. They only have like the stupid icon, the clock icon that
yeah,
I don't know why they still have that because some people like it, most people hate it.
I
But
hate it.
that's all they have. All they have is the widget icons, but they took everything else out. It's bare Android.
If you gave me that phone, the Droid Turbo, and you put Nexus software if you put if you put the Nexus software in it with that same phone, man, that phone would be off the chain. I would have that phone like I wouldn't even think twice about it. I would have that phone.
So here's the thing. It does. Aside from that clock widget, it does. Mm. And then it has the combination of the enhancements from the Moto X. Mm.
Why you okay? How come every time you say something you go like you preaching or something like you preaching?
I wouldn't get the phone, but a lot of people are very excited about that phone. The only thing about the phone, and I might get it for my dad, because he's due to get another phone, because it is LG Lucid. LG makes the worst phones known to man. I just want to put that out there. But the LG Lucid, it's time for it to put that to bed. He had that for a couple of years.
Uh-huh.
So he's probably gonna get the Droid Turbo. And the only thing I don't like about the Droid Turbo, I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
The only drawback about it I see is that first it's only so two.
Okay.
It's only available on Verizon
All right.
because it's a Droid. The other thing is these buttons down here on the Droid are capacitive. They're not on screen. They are locked to look like this. We all know in Lollipop those
What?
icons change.
They're
Yeah.
locked to look like that.
Because they're capacitive buttons, just like on Samsung phones. They're capacitive, so they're not on screen. They're not going to change. So when they get an update to Lollipop, this is going to look like Kit Kat, home, back, and multi
Multi-window.
app, yeah,
Yeah.
multi window function. So that's the only thing. Other than that, it's a great phone. As long as you don't get the red one, which looks kind of weird. Red one looks weird when you first look at it, but it looks like very cheap later. The black one, however, that looks nice. And
The Kevlar man, that thing. Oh my God, it's a nice looking phone.
it
It's a nice.
has a 21 megapixel camera. Why the hell is that not in the Nexus 6?
Why is that not in? Why is that not in any Samsung phone? Why does it seem like everybody cannot get it right?
Just one phone, just to, as as as,
Please,
as, as my friend Maurice says, the Jesus phone. Why can't we have one phone?
please.
Why can't the companies come together as one? This phone will cost a hell of a lot now. This phone will cost like $2,000.
The
Just
Jesus
come
phone.
together and make the Chrome Pixel version
Oh my
like
God.
the Chrome Pixel or the MacBook Pro version
Oh my.
phone. Dude, this phone would be hailed as the Jesus phone,
The
and
Holy
it would do
Grail.
everything.
Noah's Ark.
It would do everything
The burning bush. The
between LG, Samsung, Motorola. And
Apple,
everybody come together, make the Jesus phone, shut down the game.
please,
But they
please,
won't do it. But they
please,
won't do it.
come
They
on,
won't do
man.
it.
Look, if you had the Nexus 6, right, with the Note 4 specs, the turbos camera, no,
No.
no, give me,
A Nokia camera.
a Nokia camera with
Yes.
Apple's quality,
Yes.
okay, and the turbos battery.
Yes.
Matter of fact, throw a stylus in there. Capabilities of the
Why
Note
the
camera.
hell not? And put an edge on there like the no edge, just like,
Man,
oh,
no, no,
we
see,
you
no,
side display for no reason. Okay,
no,
okay.
not yeah. You sucked it up, right? See,
All right.
we were good, man. Till you said you had to throw that curve up in there, man. No, man, stay
Okay.
flat.
All right. All right. All
Let's
right.
stay
All
flat,
right.
man. Look, if oh my god, dude, I just thinking about it right now, it just makes you warm and fuzzy on the inside.
That was a creepy face you just made.
I know, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
But
No, man,
dude,
but
like if they do that, which it will never happen. If it happens,
uh,
that would be the equivalent of the rapture.
yeah, the world will be
The-
over
yeah,
because
the world will
everybody's
be
going to
over
get
with.
that one. Everybody's going to want that one phone.
Everybody
But you
will
know what though?
sell their soul
Honestly,
for that.
honestly, I don't even think people will flock to that phone because you still have your Apple fanboys, your Windows fanboys, the BlackBerry fanboys. You know, people are not going to do it. I honestly believe people. We can sit here and talk about it, but people will not. I don't think they're going to do it.
And the smartphone alliance, because there is one. This is weird. They have to look. We have our version of if you're a DC or Marvel, you have your either Justice League or you have your Avengers version of these phones out now.
Hmm.
You can match the character with all the phones, and you have either the Justice League or you have the Avengers. Put them boys together. Do it. This is how you do it. You do a Dragon Ball Z fusion. Put them
Wow.
together. Jesus phone.
Wow. Yeah, but if you look at it on Marvel, I seriously think that I don't know, man. That's really something to think about. That's really
I
something
mean,
to think.
they can technically do it. First of all, it's going to be expensive. So it's probably going to cost you $800 on contract.
Okay, that's an iPhone. That's an iPhone 128 gig, 6 plus. That's what that is.
6 plus
A 6 plus or
128 gig.
128 gig. That's an $800 phone.
See,
You just
dude,
solved the puzzle.
yeah, that is obnoxious to even spend that amount of money on that. And the same person is probably going to get one of the most expensive uh, gold versions of the Apple Watch. Why is that not called the iWatch? Why did they drop the ball on that? Why is that called the Apple Watch?
I don't know, man.
Everything else, and that is the Apple Watch. Why?
iMac, iBook, MacBook Pro, i iPhone, uh, iNote,
iPad,
iMovie, all this, but Apple Watch.
iPod, if they still sell
Yeah,
those things. But you
Apple
have a
Pay,
Apple Watch, dumbass.
Apple Pay. Why didn't you just say iPay? Yeah, that's all right. iPay? No,
I mean,
no,
it does.
no, iPay.
I pay you
You,
with this.
hey,
Maybe somebody else had it. I don't know.
as
But
corny as it sounds, whatever.
I mean, the iPhone sounded corny when it first came out, but you see what happened with that
Man,
um,
it sticks. iPhone.
iPhone, and then people still call the iWatch. It should have still been the iWatch. I mean,
Hey, I'd still say iWatch. Let me
I'm
see
gonna call it the
iWatch.
iWatch. That's what
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
call it
call
that
it.
too. If you correct me, I'm slapping the taste out your mouth. I'm
It
really
is
not, but
it
whatever.
is violent, man. Damn,
Oh man, my bad, man.
dude is violent. You
I'm
need
getting
to
off.
do something.
I'm
Hey,
getting off. I'm getting off a little hangover, but it's all good.
man, you must have had
Yeah.
that. You must have had that Hennessy and Coke, man.
Nah, I ain't had it. I ain't had no dark liquors last night. I had some PJs last night. A few cups of PJs, and then some other stuff before that. But we ain't gonna talk about that. We're talking about fall. Go ahead. But I'm feeling good though. Feeling good.
um, yeah. So a lot of people. I mean, thank you for watching this long. But a lot of people want us to make the decision for them of what phone they should get. I mean, you're trying to make the decision yourself.
Yeah. Who?
You said you're locked into the Note 4.
Yes.
You can go get that today. Why are you not getting it today versus, or you could have gotten it before today? What
Yeah.
made you wait?
Reason why because I was still going through my little inner battle, and I'm on the Jump program. So there's two versions of Jump with T-Mobile. I don't know if T-Mobile customers out there know, but Jump 2 is that you can jump every 6 months or anytime you want. I'm sorry, anytime you want. Jump 1 is you can jump every 6 months. I'm on Jump 1. So I have to wait till December the 7th or 10th to jump. And what that consists of, my insurance company, whatever I have left to owe on this phone, the insurance company will pay it out right. And it's like I'm getting a free phone. Same with my wife. She can jump right now if she want to, but she's under me. So we both can jump together. And at the same time, if I did jump right now, I would be paying for three phones: the iPhone, the Note, and the Note. You know what I'm saying? So, case in point, I'm being very, very patient, and I say that strongly. I say that strong. I'm being very patient because I really want to upgrade because I want a bigger phone. I'm sick of this one a little bit. So excuse the noise in the background. Please excuse the noise in the background. That is the little one, and I don't know what she's doing, but hopefully everything is all right. But yeah, the Note 4. I've already started ordering my
Before you
cases.
say that, you sound like a typical African American father. When they get quiet is when you get worried. Now, when they're making noise, you know they're still alive. You're like,
Hmm. But see, she got brothers and sisters. She got a sister and brothers in there, so
oh.
uh, yeah. But I have already started ordering my cases. My wife, she's already sent me a picture of the case that she wants for hers, and I will be ordering mine today. So
Mm.
hey, we going in. And I forgot we forgot to mention on the between the Nexus and the Note is that expandable memory.
I was gonna get to that.
You know what I mean? So oh well, my bad, brother. I just thought I'd go ahead and throw the oop up there so you can go ahead and slam it.
Good segue.
Yeah.
So, expandable memory. So, if someone picks the Nexus over the Note 4,
Hmm.
it's very important that they know that you cannot remove the battery. You
No.
cannot expand the memory off of. It's just like the iPhone. There are ways that you can save your photos and stuff offline. So you don't have to worry about photos or music, for that matter, with the Nexus or the Note. I mean, if you get the Note, you can do the same thing. This, if you didn't want to swap out or put in an extra SD card, because they do cost money, they're not free. Then you can do this also. So with pictures, so a lot of people don't want to, like, oh, Google Plus, blah 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 blah. Well, you can have Google Plus for the simple function of backing up all your photos, unlimited storage for your photos. It's not going to have it the highest quality per se, but when you download it, it downloads back into that quality just in case you need it. But for viewing purposes, hey, guess what? Viewing purposes, you can't tell either way because of the enhancements that Google Plus already does to it. So your picture might have sucked when you took it. It might look better on Google Plus. You're like, ooh,
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna download that, or you can download the original. Anyway, so that would take care of that. Unlimited storage with that automatically backs up. You can set it to Wi-Fi, or you can keep it on the network. So that's great. you can have for your music. A lot of people are like, where am I storing my music? I
Yes.
had one of my viewers, and you, asked about the music transfers.
If you
So
have iTunes.
if you have iTunes,
Okay.
so what you can do is you can. There's a way that in Google Music, and they set this up over the past year or so, to where you can transfer all that music that you have from iTunes to Google Play. When you do that, I just got an update for my fantasy. I think somebody's out. Dang it. But when you transfer the music, what it does is it goes to the cloud, Android cloud. So you don't have to have your music on your device. So essentially, when you upload to the cloud, what it does is it plays when you play it back, when you have a good connection. When you play it back, it plays at, was it 300 kilobits per second? That's high quality for an MP3. That's very high quality for an MP3. You can have 20,000 songs. Who has 20,000 songs? I don't know. But also, also, if you need additional, and I'm totally trying to get people to buy into this. If you need additional space, or you want songs, you want a whole discography of everybody that you love,
Hmm.
we have found out that because of the quality of music that spans through an album, you might only like 3 songs off an album. I don't know what album that you've listened to recently where you liked every song and you felt that your purchase of $9.99 or $14.99 was worth it.
Uh, that would be Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Bad City. But go ahead.
And Jay-Z, Magna Carta. Anyway, Beyonce CD was good too.
Talk
But
about it.
yeah, but it was the Maroon 5 CD is also like that too.
I'm
But
gonna have to
this
listen
is
to that. But
select
yeah,
few. Select
yeah.
few.
That you can
So
actually listen from start to finish. You
start to
know. So.
finish and
Hmm.
feel like you weren't robbed.
Right.
Like
Money's
you are with a
worth.
Busta Rhymes CD. How many? It only takes
Money's
one Busta Rhymes
worth.
CD and a Snoop Dogg CD.
That's it.
It only takes one Snoop Dogg CD for you to realize I ain't gonna go through this again.
Yes, sir.
But that being said, $9.99 a month, you can have all the music you want. Just add to your library all the music you want.
And this is a cloud. This is a music cloud.
Yes, and it doesn't count against the songs that you've uploaded. So you can have 20,000 songs uploaded to Google Play Music. Then you can have the all access, and it doesn't count against that. So you can just have every song that you want. You can click on the radio function, and it goes through, I'm telling you, it goes through songs you have not heard since you were in diapers. And you'll be like, I want to add that. You can actually go to the album from that song, add it, and then it'll be in your library. If you want to get sneaky with it, you can download it to your phone, but there's a trick you gotta do. I'll take it offline with you, but there's a trick you can do because what it does is it caches it. There's also a way for you to download the MP3 version, but you have to do something tricky with it. So I'll tell you
Right.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Also
gonna
with
say
that,
now. You got to send me some links now, but.
also
Mhm.
with that, the whole thing with Shazam, which you asked me about yesterday,
Right.
is it listens to the song and
Hmm.
then it gives you the option to purchase. Well,
Right. It takes you
with
to
that,
iTunes.
it's your iTunes. Yeah,
Right.
but if you have an Android phone, and you can do this with you can't do it on the iPhone with Google now. But if you have an Android phone, what it does, here's 2 things that Google now does, which is
Okay.
awesome.
All right.
While you're playing something on TV, you can hit the microphone. If you have it
I
set
was
on
going to say,
microphone,
show me something.
you hit the microphone. What it does is it'll have a music note right there. Well, if I stop hitting it, it'll have a music note right there,
Uh huh.
and then it will tell you what you're watching. Also, if you do that with music, it would listen and tell you what song is playing. And once it populates that information, you click on it, go straight to Google Play. If you have all access, just add it to your library. Or if you don't, you can buy it. Whatever. Um,
So when you add music to your library, it's yours forever,
no.
or you have to buy it.
Um, no. So you keep it as long as you have all access.
Okay. Which is and how much is that a month?
$9.99 per month. But what do you say? Whoa, wait, that's a lot of money. However,
Man,
however,
I'm on Hulu and Netflix, so
exactly. However,
that's $9. That's $8 a month on each. So
so $8 a month for Netflix. Do you watch Netflix every month?
I watch Netflix all the time.
I go through my spans when I'm like backtracking and trying to catch up with stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I haven't watched Netflix once in November yet. I mean, I opened it, but I haven't watched anything yet.
yeah. I think I'm
Um,
the same way. I'm on right now. I'm doing Hulu because I'm catching up on my Agents of Shield and yeah, Agents of Shield. That's about it. Because I have to catch up on that.
but it's the
And once
same
upon a
thing.
time,
You don't own those movies. Once you cancel your subscription, it's gone.
it's gone.
Right.
Right.
It's the same thing. Um, I mean, but if you do it smart, if you do it smart before you quit it, you can I hate to say this, you can bootleg it.
Oh Lord.
Um, then you can add them to your Google Play.
And
I mean,
I know a couple of apps or a couple of websites where you can watch movies and then you can download the movie and save it to your phone. Because I used to do it all the time on my note.
you
I used to save it to my SD card on my note or whatever, and then I used to have the full fledged movie like I'm sitting in the theater, bootlegged up, and people be like, "How you do that?" I'm like, "Man, look, you'd be surprised, bro. You can do whatever you want to do."
hey, for
My,
anybody that wants to, I won't. Very hesitant about saying this, but Chromebook. Anybody who wants to worries about downloading movies on that, hit me up and I'll let you know how you do that. Because they're like, oh, it's not Windows. How am I download it if I don't have BitTorrent? There's
I
another way.
can't stand Windows. I cannot stand Windows. I
Nope, can't
hate
stand it.
it.
Can't stand it.
I hate it.
Can't stand
Oh,
it.
when you said BitTorrent, I don't mean to get off subject. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but when you on BitTorrent, right? Uh, do you have to have Nero in order to download your movie, or do you use your BitTorrent and it goes straight? It takes you straight to your movie player and you watch the movie. What BitTorrent do you use? Because there's three versions, I think.
Oh, I use one specifically for the Chromebook.
Okay.
I can't remember the name right now, but
Just like they would have one specifically strictly for the uh MacBook, correct? Or is MacBook so
yeah.
locked down to where
No, I don't think they have it for MacBook. I mean, they might, they might, but I don't use a Mac, so I honestly can't tell you yay or nay. The torrent client for um the Chrome OS is JS Torrent. That's about $3, but that's only one time,
Mhm.
and then it works really good. Works really good. Um, you just go on something like Kick-Ass Torrents, find the file. So you just download the torrent file, click on it, uploads it.
that's my number one uh movie downloading stealing site ever. And what three versions of their software are there? Is there another version other than Windows on a computer that you can use besides Windows or Chromebook?
If you have Windows, you can use Ubuntu, or you can use straight Linux. I mean, Ubuntu is kind of like a skin over Linux,
Hmm.
but Linux, that that kind of that kind of like is
You want to say like you want to
it's
say
too,
it's trash.
no, it's not. It's really good, but it's out of my comfort zone of just going in and using it.
Oh, okay.
Hardcore people use um I forgot what I was saying. Um
You're talking about Ubuntu and Linux.
Linux. Yeah, hardcore people use Linux. I mean, it works great, but I'm just not there yet.
Yeah, I just don't like
Um
Windows, man. If I can find another uh, type of computer software or computer that I can get in the near future, which is very, very near future. I don't want a Windows computer. I want something that's. I just don't like Windows. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't understand. I just don't like. It's too much problems. Yeah, they got the Yoga Flex or the Surface Pro, which caught my eye. Surface Pro 3, and I'm just like,
it's still Windows.
yeah, it's still Windows. I
But
don't.
I tell you what, with the Chromebook, I'll tell you what, unless you need to do like heavy lifting with it, like photo movie editing, this is
Mhm.
perfect. because it does all the functions and it has apps on it, and it's going to be integrated with Android apps. It's slowly getting Android apps too, which
But
is
you're not
great.
able to use. But you're not able to use. When. Oh my gosh, you're not able to use PowerPoint or Windows, Microsoft Word or anything like
Yeah,
that.
they're getting with that. So
See, that's the thing.
the Office suite on here is basically Google Drive. It plays a lot better with the Windows Office, Microsoft Office than it used to.
Mhm.
Also, you know that Microsoft, since they're having this whole mobile campaign, they are going to be actually releasing a free version of, like, it's not going to be the advanced version, but it's going to be a free version of that
Okay.
for Android. I think they already did for Android, and I think they have one for Chromebook too. Let me look in there. Let me look right here. I'm sorry, people, for taking up. You were totally off subject, but
We are, but I think this is this. Actually, you know what? I think this is a good show. I really do. I think this is one of the better shows we've had in a long time,
Windows.
despite technical difficulties, noise, and camera falling and whatever. So,
Yeah, jump.
man, look.
Um, yeah, so it already has OneDrive on here. They have. Oh, wow, they have Office apps. Okay. Um, it looks like they're trying to get stuff in here for the Chromebook specifically, but
Hmm.
honestly, at work we use Google Suite, and it transfers over to,
Microsoft
Office
Word.
Suite. Yeah, if
Oh, okay.
someone's really adamant about using it, then it transfers
Right.
over. You
See,
just
that's my
have to
thing.
know how to do it.
I would have to use that if I'm doing a paper or if I'm doing updating a resume or anything like that. I would want something that would complement me as far as Microsoft Word and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
And
So
you
I
know,
use it all the time. Yeah. So it's really good with that. And then,
okay,
um, I mean, you cannot get a virus on here at all.
awesome.
And
Okay.
that's really big with, the discussion that we just had.
Hmm.
That's really big because I've run into a couple of those downloads that have given me a virus, and one of those last viruses killed my old Windows computer. Um, I mean, killed it. Like, no, it can't come back. Like, it's so bad that I wiped the hard drive and put it into the PlayStation. That's how bad it was. I was like, you're
Dang.
done. You're done. Um, but yeah, I mean, I get great battery life out of this thing. It has a Haswell chip, which gives, great battery life out of, it's an Intel processor. I mean, it's not a beast, but it's very practical. So it
Right.
has a touchscreen on it too. So I barely use my tablet. So, I mean, you have to do your research on it. If it's
Hmm.
what you need, and I'm trying to get my parents to get either that or a Chrome box, which you just plug into the existing monitor. It's very good for, like, you don't need to buy a full-fledged Windows or Mac computer if all you're gonna do is be on Facebook all day.
Right. Right.
You don't need to. That is asinine. And if you're going to do basic office functions, you don't need a Windows or Mac computer. It's asinine to invest that much money if you're not doing any content creation. If you're not doing content creation, and if you're not using your thing for, like, total straight up business, and you don't need it. There's no way you want to be in that group that has it, sure, but you could have bought like 4 Chromebooks by then,
Right.
and you could have.
And they're making more powerful Chromebooks. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like they're coming out with bigger Chromebooks and more powerful. So it's not like we're trying to sell Chromebook. It's just that hey, like you said, they're getting better, bigger and better.
You
You
remember when
know?
iPads used to be the thing in schools?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely,
Now
absolutely.
it's Chromebooks. You see the paradigm shift there. So they went from a tablet form to um, back to a laptop form, back to a traditional computer format, but you have more control over. They had no control over the iPads basically, but you
Right,
have more control over the Chromebook because you have a basic administrator. It's one sign-in. I mean, it's better. It's totally better. Um, and it's durable. So I mean, it's half the cost. of an iPad, so they're already saving money with that. And you can actually type on a thing, so you don't have to buy all these accessories for the iPad.
Right.
And you can do the same thing for mostly. I mean, I haven't. Look, the tablet, my Nexus 7 is my mouse pad right now.
Wow.
I mean, I still use it for like theater, like home automation stuff, like controlling the Chromecast and stuff like that. Yeah, but I mean, like I don't know. It's just me. But I think we can wrap up.
Okay.
Um, whoa, how long have we been going? Hour and a half.
Just about.
Yep. So tell them where to find you on social networks, Seth.
You can find me on Facebook at Karon Brown Senior, Twitter KBrownSR20. You can find me on Instagram at Clark underscore Kent30.
You don't know.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking up. You can find me on Google Plus on at Kron Brown. And yeah, just hit me up, man.
All right. You can find me on Google Plus, Charlie Maverick Smith. Facebook, I might add you.
Wow.
I mean, I'm
Hey,
not. I just
keep it
don't
real.
add anybody. Twitter, I'll add you. I don't care. I mean, this half of the people are real on there anyway. So,
Yeah. I'm on Twitter all the
um,
time, so yeah.
especially tonight, Walking Dead. Walking Dead is tonight. Please catch up if you haven't, because don't be mad at me during the week if I give you spoiler alerts. One of the shows you just can't like DVR and not watch. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We talk about it Monday morning, and as it happens on Twitter, it says like, "Oh, I didn't see it last night." Well, you can't talk about it. F you. You got a TV just like we do. Um. Anyway, this mobile world. Subscribe to the channel that you're watching. There's a little mic on the side, like the right hand side. So make sure you click on that to subscribe to the channel. I kind of cease and desisted because I'm lazy of uploading the audio to iTunes, and I'm trying to get you guys to watch our faces and use YouTube as a content viewing, content consumption. You don't have to watch music videos all the time, dude. You watch our faces. This is a show. This is a show. This is a show. Um, and we're gonna have this crazy world sometime in the near future. I don't know. That kind of like fell
Nice.
off from that show. Sorry. Um, but yeah, I forgot what I was going to say after that. But great. I think we had a great and productive show, and we
Yep.
gave enough knowledge so you can make a educated decision between the two devices. If you do want to buy the Moto X, then please do that. I mean, it's a great phone. It's a great phone. Nexus 6 is a big brother of that, but less features.
Uh,
Lollipop will be out soon. The Note 4 is an awesome device, proven positive. People love it. Big phones are the thing. If you want an iPhone 6 Plus, do that too. To each his own. To
mhm.
each his own. Because if you love iPhone, don't leave it. Don't leave it. Don't feel like we're Apple bashers because we're not. We're not.
Status quo, man. Status quo.
Gotta get it.
Mhm.
If you feel so inclined, do it. I mean, oh, keep up with the Google updates because the Google keyboard just got updated and it is fly. The Google Calendar got updated. It is fly. And then other apps are getting updated for material design, which is the basis of the aesthetics of Lollipop. Android L, Android 5.0, whatever you want to call it. So stay with that. Follow each of us on our respective social networks because we do post other content other than just this show.
Absolutely. I'm
So
posting all the time.
all the
Yeah.
time. Yes,
Amen.
he is. He
Amen.
sure is. As long as it's not your junk, we'll watch it.
Whatever.
I mean,
None
some
of
people
that.
might want to see your junk, but I
No,
don't
none
want
of
to see
that,
your
bro.
junk.
None of that. Keep it moving. Let's go. Keep it moving.
All right. Until next time. You guys have a great Sunday. Go Patriots. All right.
Ravens, Baltimore.
Meh. They might beat your wife. Ah, just kidding.
Here we
Bye.
go. Here we go.